to the penultimate little chat we're having today as part of our ongoing independent thinking children's online children's book festival that we're doing in partnership with the Sue Atkins Book Club. Sue Atkins brought together these amazing authors with all sorts of books, covering all sorts of topics, coming at things in all sorts of different ways, all designed to help parents, help children, with lots and lots of relevance. I've learned so much from an educational point of view as well. We'll put all the recordings together over the next few days. We'll put them on our website, on Sue Atkins' website, and it's just like some wonderful left field CPD coming at the world of education and children in a way you wouldn't expect. So we'll do that in the next little while. But we've got this one to look at. Pixie Van Dimple and the Wrong Kind of Artificial Intelligence. It's a big book, it's a colourful book, it's a striking book, and it's such a pleasure to be here with Lynn McAllister, who wrote the book. So Lynn, welcome to our Slightly Bonkers Book Festival. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came to be writing this, and about the character lurking there behind you on the screen.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lynn McAllister. I'm the author of Pixie Van Dimple and Wrong Kind of Artificial Intelligence. This character here is my polyamor Pixie, who is she obviously is the character, but she's the feature of the next book, which is about plastic pollution. So I made that for a competition for prevented ocean plastics. Anyway, so I wanted to, in fact, I didn't really want to write a book. I was thinking, I had this rush to the head actually in 2017, and it does often happen when something tragic happens. My father died, and I don't know, I had this sort of feeling that I wanted to be creative, because that was my way maybe of coping or just dealing with things. So that the night that I heard, I actually drew a picture of him, which is there, and I was up quite late in the night doing that, and I don't know, I just, very strange, looking around thinking he's gone. But then the good thing is that all this creative activity came out after that, and I started to write a story. I think I must have looked back at my inner childhood self or something, and thought, I know, I'm extremely silly. We're all silly underneath all these sort of adult sort of veneers. As I walked around, I kept thinking about people and farting. Now, don't ask me why. I don't know why. And I wrote a piece about healthy eating, and it was called Pixie Van Dimple and the Wrong Kind of Wind. And it was about the different colour farts. So you have green farts are good, purple farts bad. So the whole premise being, if you eat the wrong foods, the wrong colour farts come out. So, and after that, I wasn't even thinking about publishing, but I then went on to write this book. And this one is really to do with my own children. I mean, my background is in education, because I work for a speech and language specialist school in Twickenham, and before that I've worked in education for some years. I've worked from the early years. I worked in nursery for 7 years when my kids were really small, which is early years curriculum, and then I worked in primary school, and now I'm working in secondary school. And it happens to be an SEN school as well. So I'm learning a lot about SEN and speech and language therapy. Although I'm not a teacher, but I'm an admin, but I do kind of learn quite a lot about what goes on in the school. It's a new school. It's only opened in 2019 as part of another bigger trust. So it's very, very exciting, actually. And all the things that you may have thought about, if you're in a school you think is already set up, then you can't assume it is, because it has to be someone setting it up, which some of it is always to do with me. So, and also we're opening a primary centre in Twickenham in September, which has had to be delayed because of COVID. But we have had all our children in all over the COVID period, so which is good, because they needed that continuity. It's much like when children are in nursery and they need the continuity of the same faces in front of them and the same routines and rituals and all those sort of things that they get used to throughout the daily, their daily routine. Something changes, they get quite upset about it. And that does happen with children, maybe with autism, for example. All our kids are really great. So I wrote the book, and I I thought maybe I would try to publish it, but I didn't really know what to do. But I eventually got involved with Austin Macaulay, who are a publisher, but and also a hybrid version where you pay towards the production costs. Obviously, with having a book that needed to have the illustrations, and they are quite. I mean, I'm actually quite pleased with it because it's quite bright. It's got a phone on the front, and my kids were sort of at the age of maybe years 5 and 6, getting into mobile phones. Not so much the older one, because when she was born in 2005, we weren't looking at smartphones at that time. But it became quite obvious that the second one was getting involved a lot earlier, because they were around, and now they're part of our lives, and we're not getting away, we're not going to get away from them. Technology, like here, we're doing Zoom all year. We've been doing sort of technological things. We're advancing in many ways in very different avenues. And so I don't know why I chose to call it the wrong kind of AI, but it happens to be quite a buzzword at the moment. And that's where we seem to be heading in terms of artificial intelligence. Anything to do with a phone and social media has got artificial intelligence in it, because it's driving it. And so the premise is about too much screen time. Pixie spends too much time on her phone, and thereby getting invaded by artificial intelligence bugs, and then has to sort of call for help before they take over her and she becomes a clone. So that's the premise, but it's not meant to scare children. It's meant to promote some kind of discussion with parents, and try and triangulate the discussion with schools and parents and teachers about looking at the reasons why there might be about having being on your phone too long, or there are other things of online safety issues, such as cyber bullying and all those sort of things, that the darker side of online safety, how to be safe online, how children are to behave online, what they should be saying, what children say things. I think there was an issue in our year 4, and my other daughter was in year 4, about children texting things about each other, and it became quite evident that if you say something quite mean online, it's for everybody to see, and it's there, and it's not the right thing to do. So they've had discussions at school, but I wanted this to be sort of a way of getting parents to engage with their children about what they're doing, what they like doing online, because I want to broaden the horizons of the book, not just about screen time, but about online safety, digital resilience, and critical thinking, which is what I think where we should be taking education, because we've got all this machine learning to do all the processing. We need somebody to look at all that processing and decipher it, and make it, think about how we're going to use it in things. We're going to be I think children of the future are going to be using technology in just about everything in their jobs. And AI and machine learning is going to be in their jobs. You're going to be doing anything you do, like architecture or IT, or I don't know, being in any kind of industry, fashion industry. I mean, I now know that, having gone through all these sort of drilled down into many things in LinkedIn, you can look at everything to do with tech, and it's just about everywhere. Cars, design, all that sort of thing is all driven by tech and AI and machine learning and all those things that the buzzwords at the moment. So it's a very interesting.
You're right at the cutting edge of where technology is going. Yes. It's not just the wrong kind of mobile phone, or don't use your mobile phone too much. You're right at the heart of it with the whole AI issue. I'm just thinking about your experience in sort of in the schools that you've worked in, and you talked about children with speech and language difficulties. Do you feel that there is any sort of correlation between screen time, screen use, how much time we just spend tapping away or talking to our phone, and language development? Has that sort of entered your radar at all?
I think there are positives. I think we have a head teacher starting with us on another head teacher starting with us on in September, and he just sent around something for us to look at, and I can't remember the name of it. It's text help or something like that as an app. And I thought it was like jumping around. This is so exciting because, in a class like we have of, say, we've only got 7 in a class, For a mainstream school that's got 30 in a class, you might have a degree of differentiation between the group, the abilities. And this app is almost like having a custom built app for each child. So, if they have issues with reading, it helps them with reading and literacy and phonics. And it's all age groups. So I was thinking that's brilliant because, you could be dyslexic and you might want to use sort of speech activated mechanism of using the app in order to help spell or read or write. So I thought in that respect, I think that we're on a positive way, forward with it. I mean, there are negatives. I mean, I think that all children need to have a healthy relationship with their phones and screen time. And if they haven't, it means they're not doing other things and they haven't got a balanced lifestyle. They might be on their phones, and you can see how long we've been on it, because I can tell every day. It tells me how long I've been on it, and it will tell you how much percentage you've gone up every day or every week. Yeah. And so if they're spending hours and hours and day and night on their gaming console or on their mobile phone using social media apps. And also the scary thing about social media apps is that, I keep saying to my children, they say bored of me telling them that if you're looking at something, you're trying to search things and you want to find out a fact, you might look at social media and the top thing trending they might think that's the fact because it's the top of the list, but it's not, because that's just because everyone's talking about it doesn't mean to say it's true. So it's incredibly difficult. And also I've discovered it's incredibly difficult to try and devise some way of controlling it, putting out there some kind of, the online safety bill that's supposed to be coming out in terms of trying to manage, all the things that are going into that. I think they have issues at the moment with the verification of children's data, because that's the only way that they're going to get children to, they'll know how old they are, what their age group is them to put all their data into an account. And so all that data is then held somewhere, and that doesn't seem right either. And all the verification of their faces and that kind of thing, it's just becoming a little bit too overkill, actually, in terms of control.
This brings us back to the critical thinking that children can approach it with criticality. Why is this the top? What is the Google's top secret algorithm that means certain things are at the top and certain things don't? So we'll lead us into the book then. So I mean, what sort of feedback have you got about people using the book, either in school setting or in a home setting?
I've had I read it to my children, and guess what I did? This is me reading it to my children, wearing these glasses and this wig. Yeah. So I went. It was World Book Day. I think I read that to one class, but I read it to another class last year.
Oh, it's cool on World Book Day when you get to read your own book. That's cool, isn't it?
Yes, I know, it's brilliant, isn't it? You just go. So if there are more schools are open, I could have gone around and read it to quite a number of schools. I think it's a bit of a shame, we're all kind of been held in our own schools. We couldn't even go into the mainstream one next door because we had to try and keep in our bubbles.
Yeah, of course.
So I had read it to my class, and they got quite excited, and they drew some pictures. There's a computer virus. Mm-hmm. And this is Pixie Van Dimple, which is quite amazing.
Has hair up sometimes.
I think that she may have been at that point turned into a clone or something. So I mean, they ask questions about. They're quite fascinated about how the book was published, sure. And because it's in rhyming prose, they asked about. We talked about rhyme zone. And how rhyming words and things like that, because it's sort of rhyming as it goes along. So they were quite keen to talk about which games they play and all that kind of thing, which is what we're trying to get to really, is what children like to do in terms of what they're doing online, who they might be engaging with. There's loads of stuff on Sue's website actually, and between us within the group. We have a huge wealth of experience and knowledge within our parenting lives and within our jobs. There's quite a lot in education. Sue's been in media a long time. she's got a huge amount and she has access to lots and lots of very, very knowledgeable people, professionals in that sphere. So I would go to have a look on there to see what she's been saying, because we're all helping each other in this forum. So
no, it's nice. It's a lovely forum to have a window onto.
Yeah.
When you talk about rhyming prose, and it is interesting, a lot of people have written books in rhyme, but to actually put the rhyming prose together is an interesting one. So give us a little extract from the book and let us.
A little extract from the book.
Hear your rhyming prose in all the story.
So I should read it and then turn it around. So it's quite a lot of writing, actually. Tapping with fervour, wide eyes locked firmly on the tiny screen. A sudden jolt, a flash, white light, dozen pinpricks in both eyes. Pixie tried to scream. The AI occupator bugs burrowing through optic nerves to brain, a takeover so positively hostile, her knees went red, her arms went dead, brain dulled, she just lay there immobile. Pixie had, she realised, little conscious mind left of herself before the occupators systematically took charge. She cried inside, she had known the risks, seen the signs, occupators are at large. Occupators were a viral bug threatening to infiltrate the human race. There was only one way to keep them out, and that was to suck them up into cyberspace. The danger limit of phone usage was 2.32 hours before the pesky things got inside your head. Maybe that's backwards.
No, it's not backwards. It works. It's the other way around. Yes.
If an antidote was not administered within 14.24 minutes, then sorry, you were just dead. The AI bugs take over and you will become an artificial clone. Your face will be recognizable, but your eyes just not your own. The authorities had a department which dealt with this technically. An IT designator would rock up, log on, and press the key. A classified government program named Deoccupate would be loaded. You would be chipped, prepared for decrypt, that is to be decoded. Back to Pixie, you might implore. She is in mortal danger.
Hair up.
So there she is in mortal danger.
Yeah.
Happily, I had someone read this for me.
Oh, wow.
An excerpt. He read that excerpt for me, and it's on my YouTube channel.
Yeah. How did you manage that?
I have one of the parents at a school I worked in Richmond. We kept in contact. She has the same birthday as me, so we're kind of birthday twins. Right. And I asked her, and because she knows him and she knows James Corden as well, although he's far too busy in America. But and I said it'd be so lovely if Craig would read it, and she contacted him through lockdown. I don't know where he was. He might have been Australia. I don't know, maybe. But he recorded it, and then sometime after that, she sent me the recording. It was so exciting. So I kind of put a video to it myself.
That's on your YouTube channel, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How lovely. So, so in terms, well, we'll find out about your social media and everything. So, in terms of getting this book, I think the Roving Bookshop, is it available with them?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's on everywhere. I think I've noticed that Austin Macaulay are quite good at getting everything online everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's.
And in terms of getting hold of you, you have your own website, social media?
I've got my own website. It's lynnmcallister.com. And on there is all the social media tabs as well. So it's all on there. If you Google me, Lynn McAllister or Pixie Van Dimple, I've noticed that quite a number of things will come up as to where things are. But obviously there's Austin Macaulay's website itself and the Sue Atkins Book Club and her website. We're all on there.
Lovely, and thank you for that. And Pixie Van Dimple, once she's sorted out the world of AI, the wrong kind of AI, she's now moving on to the wrong kind of plastic. So give us a quick
plastic. It's a seaside epic adventure, Armageddon on the seaside, where something dreadful happens when Pixie accidentally lets go of plastic bags and it goes off into the sea. And the whole thing goes into a great big vortex, and there's lots of things happening, and this whole creature comes out, and it's just, it's made of plastic. So it's a plastic pollution type Armageddon thing. It's the message is clear about plastic pollution in the oceans, and I've read quite a lot of information about the plastic situation. Huge amounts of information to read about that, what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to sort of go green and sort it. I've read loads of stuff from Queen of Raw, Stephanie Benedetto, about the fashion industry and what she's doing in 7 Clean Seas in Asia, and contacted all these people about keeping up to date with where we are, because it's all right, writing a book's great. I'm hoping that French Ocean Plastics will be helping me putting their kite mark on the back of the book to sort of give it some sort of like kudos and validate it. So it's brilliant. I'm really enjoying it.
Good, and why not? And it's an important topic as well, hugely important topic.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for this book. Thank you for for Pixie. Such a character, whether her hair's up or down. Such a character.
Thank you, Ian. I think it's the last one next, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much. See you again.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Thank you.